What you saying, everyone? We're coming into week 2 of the new Premier League season. We're just going to talk about a quick preview of the games that we've got coming up. Obviously, there's a huge game for Man City tomorrow at 12 that we'll dive into in a little bit more detail. But yeah, on the whole, we've got a game tonight. Chelsea-West Ham. I mean, West Ham looked absolutely dreadful last weekend, didn't they? Taking a drubbing off Sunderland. So, I mean, Chelsea were very poor against Palace as well last week. Didn't look creative, didn't look threatening at all going forward. And you expect a lot more, obviously, with Cole Palmer in the team, new signings like João Pedro. But I do fancy them to get the job done against West Ham. If West Ham are conceding 3 goals against Sunderland last weekend, then it should be a walkover, really. And I'd imagine Graham Potter's going to end up being under a bit of pressure, I feel, if he does take another L here. It's not looking good over at West Ham at the moment. So, yeah, I think West Ham walkover tonight. I'm going to say 2-0 Chelsea. And I think Palmer should get on the score sheet this week as well. Then the main event tomorrow, 12:30 kickoff, early kickoff. I will be at the ground, raring and ready to go. It's been too long, man, since I've been to the Etihad at the back end of last year. I've missed being in and amongst the fans, so I'm excited to be there. Don't get me wrong, these games against Spurs every year fill me with dread. Whether it's home or away, they're just that team, aren't they? Regardless of how shit they seem to be, always just seem to do a job on us. That 4-0 was one of the worst games I've ever been to last season. It hurt deep down in my bones, man. Pause. But I'm going into this one. I'm feeling a little bit more positive. I'm backing the boys. We're not the same team we was last year. We've got new guys that have come in, and I think we're gonna do a job on them. I think I favour us, especially being at home as well. First game back at the Etihad in the new season. Hopefully the fans will be up for it. Hopefully we get a good atmosphere inside the ground. And I expect us to just do enough. I think we've got just enough quality to beat Spurs. As impressed as I have been with them. Seeing them in the Super Cup and in the first fixture against Burnley. I think we've just got that little bit too much quality in the final third to get the job done. Team-wise, I think it'll go very similar to last week. Obviously, the news seems to be swirling around that it's looking like Ederson in goal, which I think is a bit strange. But if it's going to end up with him going, I don't mind it all that much. Gets a good goodbye starting in the team. Spurs look like they like to press high as well. I mean, they were pressing PSG right up the pitch the other day. So I think that might potentially be tactical as well, to try and break the Spurs press and play through the lines and try and hit them. Getting the balls into space in the midfield and in the pockets behind Haaland. So I don't mind Ederson being in goal tomorrow if that is the choice. I would probably stick with Trafford if it was up to me, just because I don't like keepers chopping and changing too much. I feel like a back four and a goalkeeper should get used to playing with each other, especially this early on in the season. So I think it'll probably be Ederson in goal. I can't see him playing Núñez and Aït-Nouri both against Spurs, just because of how susceptible we are to the counter-attack. And Spurs have a lot of pace up front. They've obviously got Kudus. It'll probably be Brennan Johnson. Richarlison's quick as well. So I think they're going to be looking to hit us on the counter-attack. And I think if Núñez and Aït-Nouri are both high up the field, we're in danger of getting caught there. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was Rico Lewis again with Aït-Nouri. But again, he's more of a player that's going to drop into midfield. So I can see Guardiola maybe going for a Stones at right back. I personally would play Cousinov there because he has got that recovery pace. He can drop into a back three in possession, which would give Aït-Nouri more of a rein to bomb up the left wing or maybe come inside and underlap as well. But it wouldn't surprise me if Pep goes for Stones at right back and maybe brings Ake into the team. Again, just similar. It'll be a back three in possession with Aït-Nouri high and wide. You never know. He might even go Núñez right back and play Ake left back, and we might not see Aït-Nouri. I can't see that happening personally. Obviously, he's new to the team, but it's Pep Guardiola, man. This guy likes to rotate his players. But I'd be very surprised either way if we saw Núñez and Aït-Nouri in the team tomorrow. Me personally, I would go Cousinov right back, dropping into a back three in possession next to Stones and Diaz, with Aït-Nouri at left back. I would then keep the midfield exactly the same. I know a lot of people have been calling for Cherki to come straight into this midfield, especially after his goal coming off the bench the other day. Just Spurs in general against us and on the counter-attack. I don't think we can leave ourselves too open early doors. So I think it will be a Nico G. Bernardo jobby again, with Reinders pulling the strings just in front of them. Being more box to box, trying to make these beautiful ghosting runs he makes into the box, sliding nice passes through like he did to Rico last week. And then the front three. I don't think Docker will start this time. I think he'll probably go Marmoush, especially with Aït-Nouri high and wide, like I've predicted. I think Marmoush will then be able to drift in and pick up those central areas. Obviously, Haaland. And it'd probably be Oscar Bob again, won't it, for now? I mean, moving forward, I obviously want Foden and Cherki to come and be regular starters in this team, but right now, after the performance last week, I wouldn't be too keen on too many changes. So I think I'd keep it exactly the same, obviously with Ederson coming in, and probably Cousinov for Rico, just to give us that bit of stability to defend against the counter-attack. But yeah, I think Oscar Bob's definitely deserved another start, and obviously I'd change Marmoush for Bob. For Doku. I don't think Doku had the best game last week, and again, susceptible to the counter-attack. He obviously doesn't track back as much as you'd want him to sometimes. And I just think having an extra body in that dangerous area behind Haaland against Spurs' midfield will be handy with having Marmoush from the left-hand side. So that's how I think Pep's going to line up. That's how I think I would probably line up as well. And like I say, I think we'll just be too much for them in that final third. Obviously Spurs are very dangerous. Kudus is dangerous. Richarlison is dangerous, but they just don't have that spark and clinicalness in front of goal for me. I remember West Ham playing against us at home last year, and Kudus must have had about 3 1-on-1s, and he spooned every single one of them. So, I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but I think Spurs might nick one, but I think City will just be too good in the end. So I'm going to predict a 3-1 to Manchester City tomorrow in the half-time kickoff. I think Haaland will get himself a goal again, maybe 2. And then we might see a little sneaky one from Marmoush as well. But yeah, confident going in. And this is the real test for us. So I hope we can step up, because I've put a lot on the line last week saying that City are going to win the league. So I hope the boys can show out for us, man. We've got some 3 o'clock kickoffs tomorrow. We'll just quickly run through them as well. I didn't want to stay on for too long. I've got a busy weekend this weekend. One of my boys is getting married on Sunday, so we're out for a few tonight. City game early tomorrow, and then the wedding all day Sunday. So it's a busy one. So I thought I'd get a video in quickly on the Friday evening before we head out, and then hopefully do a review maybe Monday night. So we've got Bournemouth Wolves. I didn't think Wolves looked too bad in the first half an hour last week. And I thought Bournemouth were going to be a lot worse than they was against Liverpool as well. So this is quite a tough one to predict. I can see goals for sure. I think both defences are probably the weak side of the game. I can feel a draw in this one though. I think Wolves impressed me a little bit more than what the scoreline made out last week. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 between Bournemouth and Wolves. Obviously, Bournemouth have still got Semenyo, who's their main man there. But again, lost too many of the defenders, so I don't think they can keep the goals out. So I'm going to go 2-2 Bournemouth-Wolves. Burnley-Sunderland, a battle of the two newly promoted teams. Both had very different openers to their Premier League campaign last week. Sunderland obviously with a 3-0 win, Burnley with a 3-0 loss. Don't get me wrong, against very different calibre of opposition. I think Burnley will come out and try and set up the stall a little bit more defensively this week, because the last thing they'll be wanting to do is lose to Sunderland second game in and have 0 points. This is it's kind of a must not lose game, this, more for Burnley. I can imagine Sunderland coming to have a go because they've got less to lose after the win last week. And I think Burnley will be a little bit more tentative and try and nick a 1-0 maybe, which I think they might do. I think Sunderland have been gassed up a bit after the performance last week, but I think Burnley they're just going to have a little bit more about them this week, being at home as well. And I'm going to back them to nick a 1-0 win, I think, and just try and hit Sunderland on the counter-attack and try and soak up pressure. So, yeah, I'm going to go Burnley 1-0. Brentford and Villa is 3 o'clock as well. Villa looked poor against Newcastle. I said this in the video last week. Their attacking threat was absolutely non-existent from both teams, really, but especially from Villa. Their only hope the whole game was sliding the ball down the channels to Watkins and trying to go long ball over the top. But Brentford stink, man. I really, really do think they're in big, big trouble this year. Brentford, and I really do think that they could go down. So I'd imagine Villa to get the job done this time round. Obviously, they managed to keep a clean sheet last week as well, even though they went down to 10. So good signs defensively, maybe. I can see them definitely getting the job done, especially if Visser isn't playing for Brentford. Obviously, all the rumours swirling around him at the moment. So I'm going to go Aston Villa to get the first win of the campaign. They're going to win 2-0 against Brentford. Arsenal-Leeds is the 5:30 game. Tasty. Leeds didn't look that bad against Everton on Monday. Obviously, they got the win, but again, I don't think they look that great. Of the newly promoted teams, Sunderland have been the best ones so far, which is unusual, really, for the team that comes up through the playoffs. So I think an easy win for Arsenal. I think after a very lacklustre performance against United, in which they were probably lucky to win, they'll probably want to make a statement here, especially in the first home game. Arteta's got a lot to answer for, man. I've seen today that Arteta's spent more money at Arsenal than Pep Guardiola has at Manchester City. And all the years that were spent about how Manchester City are ruining football and how we bought the league titles, people only speak about that because he was successful with the money that was spent. His money was spent wisely to create a team that was able to win titles, to win multiple trophies. But when it's Arsenal and Chelsea doing it, well, not as much Chelsea because they have one as well. When it's Arsenal doing it, just because they're not successful, nobody talks about it. But this guy has got a lot to answer for this year. Over £1 billion spent on this team. And if he bottles the Prem again, which he's under a lot of pressure to win now, and it's probably going to be more competitive than last year, as well as shitting it from every cup competition going, he's going to be out the door. So, again, not impressed with the performance last week, so they need to come out and make a statement against the newly promoted side. I think they will do. Can't see Leeds getting a goal at the Emirates against Arsenal defence, so I'm going to go Arsenal 3-0. I don't even think Gyökeres will score. because he looked absolutely fucking pony last week. But I guess we'll see. If there's ever a game for him to do it, it's probably tomorrow. And I've captained Saka on fantasy, so I hope he at least nicks one against this relegation fodder. So yeah, on to Sunday. We've got Palace Forest. Two teams that look good. I know Palace didn't get the win, but put in a good performance against Chelsea. Obviously, won the Community Shield against Liverpool the week before. I really put my stocks in Forest dropping off hard this year. I thought that they showed the levels in the last 5-6 games of last season when they dropped out of those Champions League and Europa places. But they started well. Obviously, Chris Wood still doing the business at his ripe old age. So, but I think Palace should be too good for Forest at home here. They should be. But then again, every time I seem to write Forest off, they tend to get a result. But it's hard because they've lost Eze as well. I might have to go draw, I think. I think if they still had Eze, I'd probably go for a Palace 2-1 win. But without Eze, obviously now that he's signed for Arsenal, which is a great signing in my opinion, he's a player that can be deployed from the left and side or from the middle. I actually personally think he's better than Odegaard. I think Odegaard's overrated as fuck. But Palace are going to miss him massively this year, and they need to try and look at spending that money before the end of the season. Because all the rumours surrounding Mark Guehi, who's out of contract next year as well, and Adam Wharton, they're going to be in big bother if they lose all of their big boys. I mean, we've seen Elise go to Bayern and set the world alight last year, and Eze's the same. And they're not really bringing in replacements that are going to live up to expectations. So I do really rate them as a club, but again, spend that money, Palace, before the window's up. I'm going to go 1-1 just because of the Eze transfer. Everton, Brighton. I backed Brighton to do very well this season as well. I backed them to win last week, and obviously I think they conceded a last-minute equaliser against Fulham. Everton looked poor on Monday. Again, obviously, they're defensively sound, but Branthwaite's out. They was even trying to get in for Ake the other day, weren't they? But I can't see that happening. They're missing fullbacks massively. They've not got a right back currently, like an out-and-out right back anyway. So just because of those downfalls, I'm going to back a Brighton win here. I just think, obviously, Tarkowski's still there, who's the main man. But aside from that, the back four's a bit of a mess at the moment. I can't see Everton scoring either, so I'm going to go Brighton 2-0, I think, at Everton. I mean, it's at Everton's new ground, so maybe the fans will get up and push them over the line, but I can only see a Brighton win here. I'm going to go 2-0. Fulham United is the 4:30 kickoff. United looked all right against Arsenal. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not gassing them up like some United fans are, like how they were amazing and they should have won the game. Like, at the end of the day, listen, you didn't score a goal and you held an L, like against an Arsenal team that looked shite. They had flashes, like Cunha impressed me, and Burma was all right, a little bit clunky. Fulham are a decent team, man. They're always in and around that mid-table area. Relatively solid in defence. I don't think they've got that great firepower up front. But can they hold United? I think that I can't see United scoring more than one goal. So if United are going to win, it's going to be a 1-0 stinker, I think, at Craven Cottage. I'll probably go United 1-0. Pains me to say it, but I think Fulham will put up a decent account of themselves, but they'll get like a fucking penalty or something, a Bruno penalty or something like that, and scrape a 1-0. Obviously, I'm backing the Fulham all the way, but yeah, I can just see it being a stinky win for United, I think. And then Monday night, it's a good game actually. I mean, I said this about some games last weekend and they all were shite. But Newcastle, Liverpool on paper, Newcastle were poor again last week against Villa. Didn't look like they had any firepower going forward. Obviously, there's a lot to say with Isak not being in the team at the moment, but this is the Isak derby, man. Winner should get to keep him. Imagine that, like some WWE match, like stipulation, winner of this game gets to keep Isak. It would go off then. We might actually see some fireworks, unlike last weekend. But I can see Newcastle getting something here. When you talk about boxers being bad stylistic matchups for other certain boxers or like UFC fighters, I think Liverpool are coming up like against a Dagestani wrestler here in Newcastle, where they're going to soak up pressure. They've got a very solid defence. They've got a great midfield. They were great ball winners. And Liverpool thrive off being able to overrun people's midfield with the qualities, being able to get the ball out wide quickly to the wingers. And Newcastle have got a lot of characters in there that can put themselves about, cover ground quickly. Your Joe Lintons, Tonali's, Bruno G. I think they could get somewhere. And Liverpool, defensively on the counter-attack, look fucking dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. And Newcastle have enough pace up front to hurt them with or without Isak. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think Elanga and Gordon are the most technically gifted of footballers, but they're very dangerous getting in behind. And if Newcastle can move the ball quickly, when they win possession back, then I think they can really hurt Liverpool on the counter-attack. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to go Newcastle 2-1. And I think it'll be from ball-winning situations. Bruno G or Joe Linton wins the ball back, nicks it on in midfield, and Newcastle hit Liverpool on the counter-attack with your Gordons, your Elangas, your Harvey Barneses, and just straight for the jugular with Konate and Van Dijk. So I'm going to go bold. I'm going to go Newcastle 2-1 against Liverpool. And everyone will be talking about how maybe they ain't all that. Maybe they ain't all that, and maybe we shouldn't have wrote Man City off. I hope I'm right, but I'm sure you'll all be back to fucking roast me if I'm not. But yeah, we'll go for a Newcastle win, and by the end of this weekend, City will still be top. Obviously, I predicted the 3-1 win against Spurs. But yeah, that's my kind of overview of the City game. I'm hoping to see a similar team to what I've put out there when I get up to go to the game tomorrow. And yeah, a couple of shocks with the Newcastle win against Liverpool, which I'm hoping to see. And people start writing verts off already about his big money move, and his confidence will be through the floor then. And do you know what, man? It's gonna be a fantastic downfall to watch this year. Don't get me wrong, Salah will probably score a last-minute winner on the counter-attack when fucking Newcastle are high up the pitch or something after dropping a 3 out of 10 performance all game. But that's just him, innit? But yeah, we'll see. Let me know what you think of the predictions. Let me know what you think of the City game. Who do you think Pep Guardiola will start? Do you think we'll get the win? I know we don't usually against Tottenham. It's always a tough game. So let me know if you're confident going in. Let me know if you're scared of the Spurs curse. And we'll come again. And hopefully I'll be in a good mood talking about a City win and a few rival losses. But we'll see. We might be ranting on Monday. But yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. See you in a bit.